Yo, what's good, everybody? This is Hafiz, and today's video, we need to have a conversation, a much needed, updated conversation about the harsh truth about baddies. In 2019, guys, I did a video called The Truth About Baddies. If you haven't seen that video, the link is in the description below. In that video, I told the story about how, similar to most guys, I love baddies. I love these really attractive women. I love these Instagram models. You know, I love these video girls. I love them so much. And all I ever wanted was to be with one of them. And then eventually I got to the position in my life where I got the exact girl that I wanted, the exact body, every single thing that I wanted, all the bells and whistles, I got it. And in the video, I shared how meaningless it was. Because what you find out is that no matter how beautiful the woman, no matter how banging the body, if there's nothing inside, it is all meaningless. A lot of you guys have checked out that video, and a lot of you guys have shared with me how much you enjoyed that video. And recently, I was on Fresh and Fit's After Hours podcast. Shout out to Fresh and Fit. If you guys haven't checked out the full podcast, the link to that episode is also in the description below. And what these guys do is they go ahead and they bring on women to be able to sit down on a panel and have a discussion. Guys, when I came into the room, me personally, I wasn't really trying to debate. I was just trying to listen, to learn, to converse, and just have a good time. And what you saw happen really quickly is that the women in the room, a lot of these girls, hundreds of thousands of followers, OnlyFans account, probably guys sending them money left and right. You saw them show just how bad their character was. You saw them show how immature they were. You saw them show how disrespectful they were. And the sad reality is that for so many women, especially women with a lot of followers, especially women who are very attractive, that is how they behave, like immature children. And the worst part about that story is that so many men incentivize that behavior. Imagine this, guys. Imagine there was a child who every single time they threw a temper tantrum got a lollipop. So they're in the store, they want something, they throw a temper tantrum, throwing stuff, crying, having a fit, they get a lollipop. They're in school, they want to, go on recess when everyone else is studying, they throw a fit, they get a lollipop. What you see is now that child is being conditioned and being rewarded for bad behavior. That child is learning that regardless of what I do, I will always get a positive outcome. So what's the point of behaving? And that child becomes entitled, that child becomes spoiled, and that child becomes a nuisance and a headache to so many people. And that is far too many baddies and extremely attractive women, because what they realize is that men will do whatever they ask them and they don't have to behave. They can create an OnlyFans account and they can be able to get money from guys all across the world. And they can get you guys to buy them purses, take them on vacation, treat them to lavish dinners. They can do whatever they want. They can cuss you out. They can have a fit. They can key your car. They can do whatever they want. And then they will always get what they want. Because unfortunately, men don't respect and value themselves. Unfortunately, men are so obsessed with having sex with these chicks that they tolerate nonsense. And then we wonder why things never change. Then we wonder why these women behave in this way. And what's interesting that when you're seeing some of the conversation and you're watching, shout out to the Godfather himself, Kevin Samuels, content with the older women, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's so bad with the older women. But what Fresh and Fit are showing us is also with the younger girls and the younger generation are so entitled. And they're not incentivized to do what's right. Why? I have hundreds of guys blowing up my DMs. Why should I be kind to you? I have hundreds of guys wanting to take me out. Why do I gotta be respectful? I have hundreds of guys sending me money. Why do I need to listen to you and actually allow you to talk in a conversation? They never learn these things. We live in such an unhealthy, toxic culture that allows women to act like children without any consequences. And sadly, so many men tolerate it. So many men have put in value on the parts of a woman instead of putting the value on the whole person. And that's what you don't realize, guys. You don't live with the parts. Some of you guys see a chick, big old booty, you love it. You don't just live with the booty. You live with the mouth. You live with the mind. You live with the spirit. That's the things that you live with. Those are the things that are going to cause you stress. Those are the things that are going to bother you every single day. That's what so many men don't understand. Because we have this halo effect. This psychological thing that goes on in our mind when we simply see an attractive woman and we think they're so awesome. We think they're so amazing because they're so beautiful and their bodies are so exceptional. We see them post on social media their highlights. Their highlights. We see them take 1,000 pictures and post the best picture. And then we simply think, oh, that's them. Oh my gosh, they're so amazing. Oh my gosh, she's so wonderful. When she's actually a siren. A beautiful seductress that the closer and closer you get to her, you're getting closer and closer to destruction. And that's the sad truth for so many of these women. And then they try to complain about men. Then they have the audacity to complain about men with their terrible attitudes, with their terrible dispositions, with their spicy mouths, with their blatant disrespect. Then they have the audacity to complain about men. Zero accountability. It's all childlike behavior. If you literally go to preschool and examine how do these babies behave in preschool, and then you take these women and put them in a room, you will see very similar behavior. If you ask me, you probably see better behavior from the kids than the actual adults. Am I saying that every single baddie or beautiful woman is like that? No. But if I'm being honest, it's a vast majority of them because the culture that we've created as a society is pushing them out like hotcakes. So I've always told you men, beauty is important. You know me, I love beauty. But without character, it means nothing. But know what's so sad? There is thousands of guys who, after hearing this message, still will not care. After hearing this message, thousands of guys will go back to paying for these women's OnlyFans. Thousands of guys will go back to following these women on social media, giving them likes and giving them fake validation. Thousands of guys will continue to give them money, to do all these things, to worship them, to continue to perpetuate this cycle. Because not enough men respect themselves to not tolerate nonsense. And one of the things I've come to realize that show a man really being a high value man. And what I've come to learn is the type of woman he tolerates is synonymous to his value. Straight up. You want to see a low value man? I guarantee you, Pornhub, you see OnlyFans, you see them dealing with women left and right, buying them stuff. You see them always being a pushover. You see them being a doormat. That's low value because he doesn't even value himself. But when a man is truly high value, when a man is really respected by other men and desired by other women, when a man is really produced in society, a valuable asset to society, a valuable contributor to society, somebody that's went out into the world, experienced the world, navigated the world, and conquered the world, that man does not tolerate those kind of women ever. It is impossible. You will never choose a headache if you have options. A high value man will never, ever, ever, if he has an option to choose a headache or to choose peace, he will never choose a headache. And we need to start talking about that. We need to start valuing that. Because so many of you guys think just because you had sex, now you're a man. But if you paying for the sex, if you're begging for the sex, if you're getting treated like crap to get the sex, if you're being ghosted and flaked upon and treated like you're a second-class citizen and begging and begging and begging and begging and begging and paying and paying and paying and paying, and then you get the sex, that don't mean nothing. You are even lower value than anybody else. I don't care how she looks. How do you carry yourself as a man? So men, in closing, here is the reality that I want you to remember. Here is a truth that I want you to always remember and tattoo it on your arm, write it on your notes, have a poster about it on your wall. In the book of Proverbs, one of the wisest men to ever live is a man by the name of King Solomon. And in the book of Proverbs, he talks about women so many times. And he talks about wives so many times. And there's a verse that every single man needs to memorize in the book of Proverbs. And what that verse is Proverbs 21:9 that says, "It is better to live on a corner of the roof than share a house with a quarrelsome wife." It is better to live on your roof with thunderstorms and rains and blizzards and heat waves. It is better to live on your roof than to live in a house that's beautiful, that's immaculate with a quarrelsome woman, because that headache is never worth it. So men, no matter how amazing the parts of a woman may be, if the whole person isn't peaceful, isn't feminine, isn't kind, what we do, we open the door, we show them the streets, and we lead them to it. Because from the streets they came, and to the streets they shall return. My name is Hafiz from The Roommates. Thank you guys so much, and have a great day.